Hi there, it's Susan Winter. More information for you in dating and relationships. Let's talk about a newly established relationship. You're at the point that you're together, you're a couple, maybe you've even said to each other, I love you, and it's moving on smoothly. But you suddenly hit this very weird feeling. Something's different. Either you've spent a lot of time together or you've spent a break apart from each other, and you come back and you're assessing that they feel a little bit different. They're a little bit cooler. They're not as, contacting you all the time. There's a shift. Literally, you feel them pulling away. And at first, you go through a couple things in yourself. You're like, okay, no, don't freak out. Okay, be cool. Especially my guys do this. So be cool. Don't act needy. Don't act whatever. Okay, just give them space. Okay, it's all good. Oh, it's just your insecurity. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's whatever. Things go up and down. And so you push down this feeling that you're getting in your gut, right? But it keeps happening. And you keep amassing more information that tells you, they're not out, but it's not, something's different. They're more distant. So you take the courageous move and you actually bring it up. You bring it out of the shadows and say, hey, is everything okay? We good? And they answer, yeah, everything's good. It's fine. We're cool. But you know that it's not. What do you do when you feel them pulling away? And they're denying it and telling you it's not happening. But your gut is going off like a fire alarm. And you are trying to fight yourself. Don't be overreactive. Just let it go. Don't be crazy. Don't get involved. Don't stir something up. Don't drive them away because you're trying to preserve this very new and delicate young relationship. Now, this is a breaking point for many people. This is where the reality of how far they have leapt forward with you in the relationship has hit them. Like they're in now and they're with you and this is happening. And this is where, for whatever their own reasons, attachment theory, whatever you want it, however you want to place it in your understanding, they're getting scared. They're not sure they want to be making this commitment. It's getting real for them. And even though you have brought up the elephant in the room and you've been doing it well and calmly, it's still there. So now what happens with you? This is normally the response that people have. So they're like, okay, this is weird. Well, I'm not going to be so overt in my attention. They're not so excited to see me. They didn't make time to see me tonight. They didn't make time to see me tomorrow night. I don't think they're seeing anybody, but still, this is like not normal for them. So I'm not going to reach out to them. They're going to have to reach out to me because, again, I don't want to look desperate. I don't want to look needy. Yeah. So you do the pulling away. Now, on the other end, they're feeling it. Could it work for you? Could it work against you? Nobody knows how this dice is going to play itself out. So it depends upon that person. They'll notice that you're reacting to what their energy is. Normally, this is the distancing dance where you both get further and further apart. Somebody has to break the ice and be honest. Somebody, and it's probably going to be you, because you're watching this video, is going to have to be totally vulnerable and honest and come to the forefront and say one more time, look, I've really tried to ignore this, but something feels very different. Then give concrete examples. We normally speak at least a couple times a week, and this time you haven't had time. You said you'd call, you didn't. We get together Friday nights, you didn't want to see me. If you don't want to be here, please, I've asked you, just tell me. If there's something going on, if there's something I need to clear up with you, happy to do so. If you're not sure you want to be here, just tell me because I'm already feeling it and I'm tired of trying to ignore what's obvious. So you have to go with your gut at this point. Now remember, this could be a bit of discernment for some of you. If you're anxious attachers, maybe this is like your go-to place even when you don't need to go to, you can't help it. It's like, oh, that's where I go, that's where I go. Really take a look at yourself. Is this you, your normal default? Even if it is, this might be the perfect time to come forward and say, look, this is my thing. I'm going through it again. I don't want to go through it. I don't want to bring it forward into our relationship. But here's why I'm feeling this. These are the things that have happened. Help me to understand. You say it's not an issue, so help me to understand how it's not. Okay? I think what always has to happen is that we need to establish what I call initial honesty discussions so that we make a commitment from day one. When we don't know we're in love, we haven't slept with you yet, all of this is, it's very easy to say, look, if it's not working out, can we just agree to be honest? The worst thing is to posture and not be sure. So I had this exact scenario happen to a friend of mine, and he went through all of the same internal mental somersaults that we all go through. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to rock the boat. Yeah, that's the second or third time. Okay, now this is definitely something. Okay, do I talk about it? Do I not? So he's going through all of these psychological, if I do this, that. Again, honesty, you're being completely transparent about where you are, is your best bet to get an honest, transparent answer from your partner. Now, in my friend's case, because he was so aware of himself and saw himself, then he got weird, and his girl said to him, "Are you okay?" And he said, No, I'm fine. He started lying. And that's normal too. That you've probably been there. Maybe you're there right now. So again, he took the initiative, came forward, explained what he was feeling, said he was trying to get over his fears, really cares for her, didn't understand what was happening. There was a real shift. She, fortunately, broke down and told him she was feeling scared. That's her thing. She runs. So now they have their first really big discussion, the first big hill for them to challenge each other, and the first place for them to hold hands and walk through their fear together. Him of being lied to and trying to repress his gut feelings when he could see that it was what it was. Her denying it because she, in part, didn't want to feel it. She did care. She was going to her default. So instead of pushing each other to our final default and people just leaving without having the discussion, if you're in this place right now, it's worth talking to your partner. You have nothing to lose with a real partner where you are going to have a real relationship. You will need to have real honesty. And real honesty is the only thing that can cut through confusion, assumption, fear, a person's defaults. It's the only thing that can get you back on track. Now, I know many of you have learned game. Game works when you're dating in succession, when you're just dating and spinning and dating and spinning and dating. And it works when you're dating casually. It works to keep somebody interested in you when really there's not a future, right? But when you're in a real relationship, oh man, you need real communication. And a real partner who deserves being with you will honor what you're saying and not use it against you. You see, we're all so afraid that if we tell the truth about our fears, if we tell you, hey, I feel like you're blowing me off, it really hurts, we all think this makes us look weak, especially you guys, my clients. You think it's making you look weak. If that person that you're with, male or female, thinks that's a weakness, they're not your partner. They're really not. The honesty that you show in a relationship to be able to honor where you are, call it out and say it, is huge. Because that self-awareness can be very scary to another person who doesn't yet have the courage. But it gives them the courage because one of you is telling the truth. Now, can I promise you that if you are at this point in your relationship where you know they're pulling away and they tell you that they're not, that tomorrow's going to be great, you guys are going to have the conversation? I can't promise that. I don't know the factors in your relationship. But I do know that the only way through that is to say it for what it is. Check yourself first. If you're coming from an insecure place, preface, you know, make sure that you see what you see and that it's consistent. Okay? That's the way through. New relationships are glitchy. I've said this 1,000 times. They die on assumption because nobody wants to be left and dumped. So oftentimes you see that little rustling in the grass and you're like, oh, that's a tiger, I know it. It could be a field mouse, but you're sure that you got to evacuate. The only problem with evacuating too quickly in a relationship that was good and that you liked this person is that you are left with a worst case scenario because now you have that lingering what if. Oh God, I didn't speak up. What if I was wrong about that? What if I really just needed to talk that through? What if they were scared too? What if they were just afraid to tell me they were out? Sometimes resolution is a beautiful thing. Resolution means your mind is no longer anxious, may not be the outcome you wanted, but you know what? You've got your answer. You are free. Once we have resolution, we feel good. It is that chaotic not knowing where we stand that is the torment of all new daters, people in relationships. It is the not knowing where we stand because then you don't know which way to go. I really hope this has helped you. Please understand that if you're in a new relationship, communication is paramount. If your partner doesn't know how to communicate, please tell them they're safe to do so. There is no bad, there is no wrong, there is just what we are trying to isolate and explain and share to give vital information to our partner. And if you need to know how to do that, chat me up at susanwinter.net for a consultation, and I have a lot of resources on my website. Also, check out the podcast, The Susan Winter Show. You can listen to this streaming, driving a car, cooking, doing whatever. Take care, everyone, and thank you.